Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my first impressions look on the Puma Court Rider Chaos. So this is Puma's brand new kind of like budget shoe. It's $100, so pretty damn cheap. And you guys remember the Puma Triple? That was actually a very solid budget shoe from Puma. And the Court Rider I was not a huge fan of, just because the traction was not it for me. But I feel like this shoe, the Court Rider Chaos, is it's like the TRC Blaze Court and the Court Rider do the sexy fun time at night, and out came this shoe just because the upper reminds me a lot of the TRC Blaze Court, and then the midsole and outsole reminds me a lot of just the regular Court Rider, right? So if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave them free link in the description box. This shoe is still available. This actual like exact colorway, I actually like this colorway, this lime green like Volt color. But anyways, let's get it started off with the Tracciones, and it says Puma. It says Puma a lot on this freaking outsole. And we got some lines, you know, we have like a line kind of going through like the middle of the outsole, I guess. So yeah, they had the same exact pattern in the Court Riders, and hopefully they changed up the rubber compound. I don't know, but just trying it on my wood floors, it seems to have a pretty okay stop, but there is absolutely zero squeak. So that does make me sad. That, of course, that has nothing to do with performance, I know, but I like to have a little bit of a squeak, you know what I mean? So that kind of sucks, but the bite seems alright so far. We'll have to see on the performance on dust, however. I mean, the grooves are pretty damn close together, especially where the Puma lettering is, so I feel like that'll trap the debris and dust, you know, and like dust bunnies pretty well. So that definitely is not a good thing, but of course we'll have to see on that. Durability seems like it's gonna be good though. You know, grooves are, I guess the Puma, it's saying Puma, the grooves are thick, the rubber is hard, and also the grooves are deep. So durability seems pretty good. I feel like you should be okay playing on an outdoor court. So yeah, the traction is feeling like pretty good so far. All right, moving on to the heel to toe transition. It feels overall pretty smooth, right? So here in the heel, we have a nice rounded shape, and we have a fully exposed midsole, so it's not clunky really at all here in the heel. And then in the forefoot, we have a nice curve shape and a good amount of forefoot flex, right? It's more like here in the forefoot, but here in the midfoot, it doesn't flex at all. There's probably a midfoot shank plate, so torsion support seems like it's gonna be good too. So now moving on to the cushioning setup. So we have Pro Foam, and it says it's a lightweight EVA. Pro Foam is not lightweight. I'm very curious as to how much this shoe is gonna weigh. Shoes usually with Pro Foam they're not that light, you know what I mean? So, and also it feels pretty high density, you know what I mean, especially compared to like Lunarlon, React, you know. Either way, it is full length Pro Foam, and it's actually kind of nice. You know, here in the heel we have a nice little compression. Here in the forefoot, of course, it's a little bit more dead. You have pretty good court feel as well, especially here in the forefoot. The heel does get thicker, so there is a nice little offset as well. Actually the insole is pretty damn nice though, right? I don't know what it is with Puma. Puma gives us really nice plush, thick memory foam like insoles, which feels very nice for stepping comfort. So obviously, you know, insoles, these types of insoles, they bottom out, especially after playing in them for a couple months. But you know, when you first get it, it's pretty nice, right? But underneath that, we have a crazy glued down, super stiff strobo board. I feel like once this insole bottoms out, it's not going to be very nice. You know what I mean? I definitely wish Puma would give us better strobo boards. Like, you know, Adidas has actually been doing pretty well with strobo boards. Like if you look at their BYW Select and also the Harden Volume 7, it has like a softer strobo board with the cutout in the heel, and also, you know, in the waves and stuff like that with the mesh strobo board. So I wish they would do that here in the Pumas, but whatever. So overall cushion, it feels like it's gonna be responsive with like okay impact protection. It feels pretty comfortable here in the heel with a little bit of compression, and it seems to have pretty good court feel as well. So it seems pretty okay, you know. It doesn't seem terrible or anything, but nothing about it screams like amazing, you know. All right, moving on to the materials. So the materials are so crappy feeling, guys, right? So we have a mix of like mesh, and like you can see the open mesh here, right? And then underneath that we have probably like a textile material. So I'm not super mad at that, but like around it we have like it feels like fleece, guys. like a sweater, you know what I mean? It feels really good. Like it's not even like a nice quality fleece. Either it's like a super cheap feeling fleece. So I really don't like that, and it reminds me a lot of the TRC Blaze Court. You know, that felt super cheap as well. And it doesn't really feel that great on foot just because it doesn't feel super supportive. It is super soft though, super soft, and conforms to your foot very well, so it's like comfortable. But like, I feel like once you get playing in it, or once I get playing in it, like the lack of support from this like mesh material is not gonna feel too good, you know what I mean? Here in the midfoot, however, we have a mix of like, I'm guessing this is like a synthetic leather, right? Here on the lateral and also on the medial side. So that does definitely stiffen up the material. And also, as far as the eyelets go, we have a cable going like through this upper, and then the laces kind of go through it, right? Which is pretty cool. And then for the tongue, we have like an average amount of padding, and it's not super well padded. It's also a half booty construction tongue, and it's made of like the same type of like open mesh. And then here in the ankle area, we actually have like, I would say, an average amount of padding. You know, it's not super well padded. It seems a little bit less padded than the TRC Blaze Court, right? So overall, I'm not liking the material choice too much. You know, it feels really cheap. It doesn't feel that supportive either. So yeah, not liking the materials too much. All right, moving on to the fit. I went true to size, and it fits just a little bit short, right? So my toes are very, very close to the edge. Like, they're like right there, and I'm having to curl my toes up just a tiny bit, but I feel like it's still okay for me. But if you don't like that, I would suggest going up half a size, because it's like my toes are right there. Also here in the toe box, it does fit like kind of snug, because like, you know, the material kind of like goes over my foot, right? But like I said, this material is super soft and kind of like stretches a little bit, so I can fully curl my toes up, which I don't like. I like to have a very snug fit here in the toe box. That's also another reason why I don't like this material, you know what I mean? And as far as the width goes, I would say it's slightly narrow. So overall, not a huge fan of the fit here in the toe box for me personally either. So that definitely does suck too. So the traction, fit, and materials aren't looking too good so far, right? All right, moving on to the support and lockdown. Also, support and lockdown doesn't seem like it's gonna be very good. I mean, if you look here in the forefoot, this material, I mean, you have like this fleece overlay, I guess, right? But it doesn't seem supportive at all. And then like the foam doesn't come up that much, right? I guess this part kind of does, but it doesn't come up that much, acting as a sidewall. Here in the midfoot, however, we have all of this. We have like this panel. We also have, this feels like rubber, right? This is rubber, right? And then this is the actual foam, it feels like, but that is acting like a sidewall here in the midfoot and also here in the heel. This design kind of reminds me of like a Tide Pod a little bit. Anyway, sorry. And then here in the heel, it feels like there is an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment, I'm a little iffy here in the forefoot. And then as far as the lateral stability goes, we do have a wide base. As you guys can see, this part does protrude out a good amount, the cushion here in the forefoot. So you have a wide and low to the ground base. So that'll be good for lateral stability. All right, moving on to the weight. I feel like it's gonna be, I don't know. I'm guessing like 13 ounces or so. Yeah, 13.69 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. 13.54 ounces. So that's definitely heavier than average. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So yeah, just like I guessed, you know, Pro Foam is not lightweight. It's actually the opposite. I feel like it's more high density. I don't know why they're calling it lightweight, just because if you look at the actual material, there's not a whole lot of padding. There's not a whole lot of anything. I guess there is a good amount of rubber on this shoe. But also like the midsole takes up a good amount of weight in the shoe as well. So yeah, it's just, it feels a little bit on the heavier side of things. And also it does feel a little chonky here in the heel, just because like it is a little bubbly, but it feels pretty good. Like as far as the shape of the shoe goes, like on foot, but it does not feel like it's gonna be responsive at all. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, you know, support of the shoe, like especially with this mesh, it doesn't feel like it's gonna be good, and it feels like my foot's probably gonna move around inside of the shoe even if I crank down the laces. Also, traction, like I said, doesn't feel amazing either, but hopefully that all changes once I break it in. All right, as far as the aesthetics go, I kind of like it. It reminds me a little bit of the Puma Triple, I believe it was, with this design. And also I really like this colorway. This is a monotone like lime green or light volt color. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, I hope it's not a repeat of the TRC Blaze Court because I did not like it. My first impressions were actually pretty good. I remember like getting it, I was like, oh, this actually feels pretty nice. But when I played in it, it was really bad, especially the traction. The traction was not good for me. And then, you know, the materials, it's not great. You know, it looks awesome though. I like how it looks, but performance was not great. And so hopefully it's not a repeat of that, but it's feeling like it's going to be right now as far as my first impressions go. So that definitely does suck, but of course that can all change. Hopefully it breaks in nicely and all that, right? But anyways, that about concludes my first impressions look on the Puma Court Rider Chaos. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I try to leave the affiliate link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.